Testing audio. One, two. Testing audio. Now we're testing audio and it's recording, and it'll play back in a second. We are we are testing audio, testing audio.
Still don't know what I'm doing yet, but I have the trackers. I'm very clearly like add their name when I get
This is a microphone test.
so I should be monitoring it in Zoom too.
One, two, three.
Should populate it. I think I know what I'm doing. Kind of. Maybe not, but okay. This is your color coder. I think it looks like OC set up something, so it's your key. So when it's time to open up, you're on. I would prioritize the in-person first, making sure that the cards are there. And then everything start um, and then you go online and onto Zoom and you look for like if this person here, if there's so I do need to be logged on to Zoom. All right. And we're only doing this for this one, right? For the webinar. For the Youth Empowerment Commission. For 6 to 8, not for okay. Okay, so I won't log in until then.
You walked me through it already? All right. Okay.
I probably leave that at some point.
Yeah. We're starting at 5, right? Yes, good. Started at REC. So we're gonna be. We're chilling like villains. 351. AV2 co-host. We're all muted except for AV2 co-host.
Your center?
The IU center. No, don't do it.
really important role for our state. You are taking the first Welcome, commissioners. My name is Josh Friday, and on behalf of GoServe and Governor Newsom, thank you. Thank you for stepping up to take on this incredibly important role for our
And good afternoon. This is one of the Spanish interpreters.
Good afternoon. This is another one of the Spanish interpreters. If we could please get assigned, that would be kind and courteous. Thank you.
This is a Zoom audio test.
Hello, Maya. I can hear Maya and I can hear Claudia. So I'm in the Spanish channel. So keep talking. I'm going to switch over to the English. Make sure you're not coming through on there.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming out. I know the Racial Equity Commission is also super excited to be working with you.
Okay, great. You guys are both in the Spanish room and not coming through on the main room. Thank you. You're welcome. It was really cool to see like Thank you for inviting They work on like getting Test, test, test. Testing.
1, 2, test.
All right. Making sure everyone can hear me. Yes. Well, welcome everybody. I'm excited to see you all here. This is my first time seeing all the commissioners in one space, so very excited about this moment. Want to officially introduce myself. My name is Tamisha Wallace. I'm the Executive Director of the California Youth Empowerment Commission, and I am so excited to be here sharing space and energy with you all. For the family members who are here supporting the commissioners, staff, team members, community partners, we really appreciate your support as we get started with our inauguration and our first inaugural meeting for tonight. So just want to give you guys a round of applause for being here and showing up tonight. So I have wrote down a few remarks because if I don't, I am going to go off on many tangents because I am so passionate about the work that you all have signed up to do. And that has been my life's work and my passion work. I'll get us started. And then we have 2 additional guest speakers, LaShawn Francis from Children's Now, and we have Alex Briscoe from the California Children's Trust, who will also be providing remarks. From that point, we will welcome you all up to our dais to read the oath and sign your oath to be officially sworn in as commissioners. So we'll get started. Really wanting to just level set and take a moment to talk about how monumental this moment is for California to be inclusive of the young voice of California. I think this is a long time coming and should be celebrated in the spaces we're offering today. This is the first youth commission that will directly work with and advise the governor's office, legislature, and the superintendent of instruction on policy that impacts underserved youth of the state. That is not an easy lift for anyone to take on, but as we talk about young people who are navigating developing careers, their education, life in general, and all that's happening in our world and society today, that is a lot. So I really commend you all for taking on this task with such bravery and courage and commitment. And I just want to acknowledge you all for that effort. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge Luz Rivas for authoring and really championing unprecedented legislation that really enacted our commission. Thank you, Luz Rivas, for your continued advocacy and elevating youth voice and legislation that will impact so many youth across the state. So I want to take a moment to acknowledge her. I think as we continue to navigate life post-pandemic, I feel like we're still in this weird space, but the pandemic really offered an opportunity for us to see which communities were impacted by the disparities that were already present. I think it's important that we talk about how youth were dramatically impacted in that space. I'll end with, when I was a young person, I would always talk to my stepmom about wanting to change the world. And she would always tell me that that's too big of a task for anybody to take on, to just find my place in the world and change what I can. And in hindsight, I see that we were actually in alignment with our thinking because I think that's exactly how you change the world. You find your place in it, you find your thing that you want to change, and you really make a decision to act on that. And I reference that to the civil rights leaders of the 1960s who were led by youth. And they saw injustices in their communities across the state, across the South. And they really gathered, they strategized, and they used their community to solve those problems collectively. That is the power that this commission possesses to change California, to change the world, as we know that most states, most countries look to California in our equity and inclusion efforts. So I really do not want you all to take that lightly and understand that your voice is going to be representative of youth who will never have the opportunity to be present in these spaces. So you carry those young people voices, you carry their stories, you carry their adversities, and we want to make sure that we are great stewards with that responsibility. So I say to you all here today, you have my commitment on that journey to walk alongside you, and I'm excited that you're here. I'm not sure what happened to Alex, if he's on. Do we want to?
Hi, Tamisha. Can you all hear me in the room?
We can hear you. There you go. All
Thank
right,
you.
we're going to pass it over to Alex to share a few remarks.
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations to all of the young leaders and all of the adult allies who made today possible. I want to begin by saying it is a uniquely difficult time to be young in America. So we need you like a society has never needed its young people before. I have spent almost my entire career working with young people. I was a therapist in the Oakland Public Schools. I ran a pediatric emergency department. And then I led a large healthcare system where I did work in juvenile detention and foster care. I've seen a lot of human suffering. And what I can tell you is that young people are awesome. And that despite all of the challenges before them, the takeaways that I take from those experiences is how many young people have survived and thrived despite the things that they have faced. But back to the reality that it is a uniquely difficult time to be young. In the decade before COVID, so just don't get it twisted, y'all. COVID didn't create the challenge that young people are facing today. It made it a lot worse, but in the decade before COVID, 2007 to 2017, we saw a doubling of inpatient admissions for self-injury. So that's a fancy term, but what that means is twice as many young people had to be admitted to the hospital for self-harm. In fact, today in 2022, actually the most recent study, 42% of young people reported persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness. And over the last 20 years, suicide has leapfrogged cancer as a cause of death among young people. And by the way, it's not young people. Young people didn't just get twice as pathological. It's us. We have built a toxic culture for you to live in. We've told you fame is merit, that wealth is value, that women can't be president, that Black people aren't as good as white people. Those toxic messages that our culture has delivered to young people have made it incredibly difficult to grow up and survive and thrive. So we need you like never before. Your voice, your intelligence, your wisdom, and your power is essential to changing the systems that serve you. And through your service on this commission, you will have a unique chance to impact the decisions of one of the largest economies in the world. Like literally, California is the 5th largest economy in the world. And you get a voice, you get the ear of one of the most important people in the world. And it's really important that you tell them what young people need. Our mental health system, the place that I'm doing the work, most of my work, is trying to change and get out of 50-minute psychotherapy sessions and get out of diagnosing young people who are just dealing with bad things in their lives. So we need you to put your foot on that gas pedal and say, build me systems that work for me. Make it so I don't have to be sick to get care. Make it so that the people who serve me look like me and share my life experience. So I'll end with a final thought and a story. I was leading one of California's largest 911 systems. 200,000 calls a year. And remember, 911 is the most popular public service in the history of America. Like, when you're in trouble and you need someone, we come. But we could not staff our rigs. Literally, we couldn't find enough people to staff the ambulances in Alameda County, the fourth largest county in California. So we started training kids who were graduating from the foster care system and coming out of juvenile detention to work in our ambulances. And we did just about everything possibly wrong. The first 7 young people we trained, 4 of them got rearrested. And we asked them, what did we do wrong? What's up? And they said, you didn't pay us. You didn't provide us teachers who look like us. You didn't guarantee us a job. And you didn't help us with the things that we needed most, like food and housing and mental health support. So we changed our program. We started paying young people $2,000 a month. We gave everyone a mentor who looked like them, and we guaranteed every single young person who passed the National Registry a job. So we listened to the young people who we were serving because they knew the way. Today, there are more than 600 graduates of the EMS Corps. We have some of the highest pass rates on the National Registry in the state. We work across 3 sites, and there are 11 new sites coming that will train 4,000 young people with system involvement to work in the most popular service in the history of America. The point of this story, and I would argue why we need you so badly, is that young people will save themselves and the rest of us if we give them a chance, and this is your chance. Thank you so much for your service. Tamisha, I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Very powerful remarks. We appreciate you for making time for us. I'm now going to welcome LaShawn from Children's Now to provide remarks as well.
Thank you, Tamisha, and thank you everyone for having me here. One, I'm really happy you guys invited me to the Cool Kids Party. That is what I am considering today's event. For some context, my name is LaShawn Francis. I work for an organization called Children Now. We are a statewide research, policy, and advocacy group. We've been around since 1988. And essentially our charge is to make sure that state policymakers are doing right by kids. So I spend my days, and I've spent the last 15 years, looking at state budget. What does the budget look like? What are we paying for? Why are we paying for it? Looking at bills, state legislation. What bills are out there? How did we get here? What was the bill originally asking for, and where did we land? Very important questions. What are our state departments working on, and why are they working on it? And for the first time in 15 years, the last few years have been really interesting. And the reason why they've been really interesting is that for the first time, we've heard 2 things. Where is youth voice, and where is community voice? But I have to tell you, one of the things that's really frustrated me, even within this conversation, is that when people are asking for youth voice, and they're clamoring for it, and they want community voice, what you'll find, what I suspect you'll find, is they're also saying, we want youth voice, but not too loud. We want youth participation, but not too much participation. We still want to be able to operate in the way that we've been operating, as long as no one is interrupting that. My charge to you is to be interrupters. I understand that you are only advisory, and that's fine. We all start someplace. I didn't start writing bills on day 1. That is not how this works. But you are in a unique position where you can ask questions, you can get into rooms because of the advisory group that you sit on. You can work with organizations like Children Now, who is always interested to hear youth ideas and to hear what you're thinking about and hear what you're talking about. And I also caution you that when you get into these rooms, some of the adults in the room will ask you what you think, and then they'll tap you on your head and you'll say, it's so adorable that they can read. They're not really interested in taking what you have to say seriously. Note that. Put it in your back pocket. That won't always be the case. right? You will have opportunities to be impactful, to be effective. I know some of you have done some things like this before, whether it was in high school or maybe in some of your college careers today. This is going to be a little bit different. You're going to get an opportunity to look at the scope of what the state of California is looking into and what they're investigating. Here's the thing. None of us who do this work have been in high school or college anytime recently. It is so far beyond or past our memories that you are truly in a unique position. You can say, hi guys, that's actually not how that works today, right? Some of the biggest conversations around social media, I have no clue what I'm doing when it comes to social media. I'm okay admitting that. That's a conversation for you all. Some of the biggest conversations around climate change, that's a conversation for you all. You all have some deep expertise simply from living that you can share with us that is unique. As a matter of fact, if you want to have a chuckle, I actually charge you to go on the state legislation website, look up some of the most recent social media bills, and have a laugh, because it is clear that some of the adults really don't know how these things work. That's why your voice is unique. When you look at bills, when you analyze bills, what is missing? What is your value add? And these are people who are doing the best that they can in some very extreme circumstances. You'll hear about the state budget and how we essentially have run out of money. You'll hear how we're in a deficit. You'll hear that sometimes the adults in the room don't work together as well as they should. So the question for you is going to be, where can we add value here? What else can we add to this? Hey, we see this bill, we think it's on the right track, but if you made a few more tweaks, this could actually really be impactful for the young people that you're trying to impact. Those are the kinds of things that I want to charge you all with as you go through this process. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask questions. One thing that I'll say, and I say it to all of our new young fellows and employees who come to Children Now, and they think I'm joking, but I'm not. You have to read everything, okay? And I know that feels like it's obvious, but I have been in rooms where adults who should have read a bill have not read the bill. They don't know what the bill says. They don't know what the bill does. They have the Cliff Notes version. You guys still using Cliff Notes? No, see, exactly. My point exactly, right? Not using Cliff Notes, have no idea what I'm talking about, but they have the Cliff Notes version of the bill. And it's just these little summaries, right? It's like this little Wikipedia version of the bill. That's not sufficient. Read the whole thing. If you're going to comment on the budget, read the thing. It's so important because knowledge can't be taken away from you. And you only get that if you're combing through these things diligently. I know that you all have the energy to do this. I know you have the passion to do this. I know that your commission can be impactful because what you'll do is you'll tell the truth. And what you'll notice is that a lot of us who've been in this field for a long time aren't comfortable with telling the truth for lots of reasons, right? You're not going to have those hangups. You're going to be able to tell the truth. As my mom says, tell the truth and shame the devil. That's what you're going to be able to do. So you should embrace that opportunity. Work within your organization, work within what you can do. Reach out to us if you want more support. We're always here and happy to help if you have questions about how things work. But I'm super excited for all of you because I think this is a unique opportunity. I think it is a chance for change. You're going to hit roadblocks, but that's okay. We all hit them. You'll just keep moving. Thank you.
Thank you, LaShawn. I just want to take note that we officially have you as a team member with us, so thank you for agreeing to that publicly. We'll now ask the youth commission members to step behind the dais on the steps so we can read the swearing in of the oath. There we go. We ask that a family member of one of the commissioners hold the Constitution for the reading of the oath. Can you all raise your right hand? Okay. So this oath is for the member of California Youth Empowerment Commission. Please repeat after me. I state your name.
I
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the Constitution
and allegiance to the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of California,
of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully
that I will and faithfully
discharge the duties upon
discharge the duties upon
which I am about to enter.
enter.
Congratulations, you all are now officially commission members of the California Youth Empowerment Commission. You all have oaths in front of each chair here. If you can find your name and proceed to signing the oath, please.
Jessica. Jocelyn. Yeah.
All right, I believe everyone has officially signed their oath. That concludes our inauguration presentation. We will now break for a reception. Thank you. We do have refreshments provided by the UC Berkeley Possibility Lab. We appreciate you all for your support and partnership. Refreshments are out in the foyer. We have drinks. We have a lot of amazing looking snacks. So please help yourself. We will reconvene here for our first meeting at 6 o'clock. So we have a little over 30 minutes.